Good evening and welcome to our YouTube channel, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Tonight we have episode 1 of Canis Mysterium with Wayne Worthy as our GM. Wayne, take it away.
Oh yes, thank you, Tom. As Tom mentioned, this title is Canis Mysterium. It was written by Scott Hartman. The cover art for it has been done by Colin Nita, and the interior art has been done by Eric York. It was copywritten in 2013 by Chaosium Inc. and is available on chaosium.com. Before we start, I would like to have our players introduce themselves as well as their characters. Let's start off with Eric.
Oh boy, I think you guy gets to go first. I'm Eric Meisner. My character is a Chinese immigrant who is studying to become a monk. So he's studying Sanskrit here at Miskatonic, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So he knows Mandarin as his first language, and he's studying Sanskrit so that he can become a monk, and he's also studying some psychology on the side. And he really wants to become a monk before he dies, because he's starting to get older, and he's really starting to wrap things up in his life, essentially. So, and he wants to do some good before he dies, essentially.
All right.
And,
Cool.
Yeah. He's 4'5", so he's kind of short. He's bald.
Can I ask, Eric, what when you say monk, are you referring to any particular religion or?
A Buddhist monk.
Buddhist, okay.
Yeah, he's Buddhist. Mahayana.
Okay.
So he doesn't.
I'm sorry.
Would you want to go next?
Darwin?
Me? Did you say me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So my character is Solomon. His name is Solomon Abatwa. He is I guess he'd be a mulatto. His father was from Kenya, and the only thing he shared with the group is that he actually lives near Coldwater. I believe it's called Coldwater, the
Yes.
town nearby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That he has lived there actually most of his life, and that his way to college was actually paid by the employer. Him and his family have worked for the Shaw family for generations. They're very wealthy. I'd say they're wealthy, and they're also a little dark. They've been involved in some things that have given them a reputation in town. I wouldn't say they're degenerate, but I definitely would say that they are considered kind of a family that definitely has some very old, wealthy family that has some skeletons in their closet.
Quite
But
literally.
they paid for him to go to Miskatonic, quite literally, right? And they paid for him to go to Miskatonic, and he is majoring in ecology and with a focus on anomalies, anthropological anomalies. He has some dreams of grandeur that he wants to publish a book that proves that all religions have a common origin. And so he's studying a lot of anthropology, and he also has some skills in religion. And he's a charmer, and he's a fast talker. He's a really good-looking guy, young, a little arrogant, but he's also very smart. When it comes to physical, like his physicality, he's pretty weak. Like he's kind of a slender guy. He's not too buff, not too big, but he's definitely a charmer and definitely a brainiac. So that's Solomon.
Cool.
Nice. Tom?
So, my name is Theoraptus. I'm the son of a Greek immigrant. My family immigrated from Greece, obviously. They're very traditional, very religious. I do go to church, but not so much anymore. I'm studying at Miskatonic psychology, and I'm trying to get I'm in my third year, and my focus is I'm trying to focus specifically on abnormal psychology, such as schizophrenia and depression, and that's pretty much my character.
Okay. And last but not least, Jeff.
My character is Robert Feynman. For those of you that know, I'm very loosely basing him off of the physicist Richard Feynman. So apologies to him and his fans because I'm going to be deviating, I'm sure. But so his background is going to be in astronomy. He's very good at mathematics. He's Jewish, but he's non-practicing. He definitely believes in science, but he's quick to point out that science evolves and that we don't know everything. He dabbles in astrology and the occult just for fun. And he's basically just the smaller, typical nerdish kind of guy. Black hair, kind of poofy, cheap suit, skinny tie. And he does like to fast talk, too.
Nice.
I think
All
Solomon
right.
and I will get along.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
Excellent.
So this investigation begins on a Thursday, October the 9th, 1930. It's 12 p.m. in the afternoon at Arkham, Massachusetts, at Miskatonic University. There's a cool, cloudy autumn afternoon when you're called into the president of the university's office. As you enter, you're confronted by three men. Dr. David Adelson, the president of the university, Dr. Conrad Miller, the head of the biology department, and Dr. Jeremy Manson, the head of the psychology department. And Dr. Manson also is a professor at the college as well, so he also teaches a few of those classes that each of you who have taken up a bit of psychology have taken him as a professor.
Hey, Dr. Manson.
Yeah, I probably know him.
So as you walk in, you see Dr. Adelson, and he's an older gentleman, kind of heavy set. He's got a nice, fully grown gray beard, and he's sitting in his chair. It's a mahogany chair with a nice leathery cushion on it. And he's sitting out, and he's staring outside into the gloom of the day, smoking his pipe. And as you enter, you are first greeted by Dr. Miller. And he comes in and he says, "Come on in, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. Please close the door behind you and have a seat."
I do so.
All right. And I imagine.
Thanks.
All right.
Sit down.
All right. So once you guys sit down and you're seated, he says, "Well, before we begin, I trust that you all are capable of exercising discretion regarding today's conversation. Am I
Of
correct?
course.
Okay.
Well, what is this about, Professor?
Oh, we can get that to that in time, but I just need to make sure that everybody's on the same page. What's said in here remains in here.
All right.
Okay. He says, "All right, good, good. I believe once you've heard what we have to say, you'll agree that we face a very delicate situation, but also an opportunity for the university itself." Now he begins to pull out his own pipe, and he begins to filling it and tamping it down before continuing. He says, "Now, because of your academic achievements over the years, we have hand-selected, both myself as well as Dr. Manson, have hand-selected each and every one of you. Should you agree to helping us in this matter, we are willing to give each and every one of you a healthy grant for the rest of your remainder here at Miskatonic,
Wow.
as well as a letter of recommendation to any graduate program or any company of your choosing."
I'm in.
It is an honor.
I'm definitely
You definitely in?
interested. I don't personally. Well, I personally don't need his grant since I have a. I mean, my way is paid by the Shaw family, but I'm curious as to what he's angling at.
Hey, you can give me his grant too. I'll take them both.
Well, he's listening to you guys, and he has a little smile on his face, seeing that you guys seem to be agreeable. He lights his pipe, and as he does so, Dr. Manson begins his conversation with you. He says, "Well, with all that out of the way, let us begin to get to the task at hand."
Excellent.
Now, yesterday, I was contacted by a man named Archibald Clark. He's a constable down at this small farming town named Coldwater Falls. And this is west of Arkham.
Hmm.
And the man's...
Isn't
Yeah.
Chang from there?
Mm-hmm.
I asked, sorry, out of character, is this like in a country area?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So Arkham is kind of like Boston, so it's more of a big city, whereas Coldwater is more of a farming town, a farming community.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
country.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
definitely country. So this particular man seems to be at his wit's end, and I guess he sent his nephew to seek out my attention personally. He said that he's been in touch with every sanatorium from New York City to Boston, looking for any vacant rooms, but to no avail. And
Really?
at this point, you see Dr. Miller kind of chuckle a little bit, and he says, "Yeah, no wonder. After all the crash last year, you have every investor and businessman stepping off the side of a roof or hanging themselves in their garage. And there are many more out there who are threatening to follow suit. No wonder the
that's
looting
true.
bins. Yeah, no wonder the looting bins are filled to the brim." And he kind of chuckles at that. And you notice as he's talking and as he interrupted Dr. Manson, that Dr. Manson seems to be a bit irritated, not only by the interruption, but also by the dismissive nature of Miller's comments.
Okay.
And so Manson continues, and he says, "Well, yes, indeed. Anyway, Constable Clark is holding a man who exhibits some rather extraordinary behaviors." Miller interrupts again with a snort. He says, "Extraordinary? Ha! The man believes he's some kind of wolf man. Clearly, he's suffering from some sort of psychotic break." And as he says psychotic break, he rolls his eyes. And from what the constable told us, the man's mind is completely broken. He was found yesterday snarling and snapping at shopkeepers in town. He was also reported to walk on all fours like a beast would.
Yeah.
The constable says that he wouldn't even use utensils like a plate or a fork or knife. He would just eat off the floor, eat out of a dog bowl. From the sounds of this, there's no shred of humanity left in this poor bastard.
Well, the question is how did he get to be this way? We got to find that out.
Well, of course.
Like, that's
And I would suggest that from my studies, at least from my personal beliefs, that it sounds like he actually is embracing what it truly means to be human, as opposed to you saying that he's not human at all. We're all animals.
That's a matter of opinion.
Well, Dr. Miller looks at.
Oh, it's a matter of science.
Yeah, Dr. Miller looks at Solomon with approval. It's like, no wonder it's a good choice that I chose this one right here. You're absolutely right, Solomon. It is a matter of science. Yes, we are animals.
Accepting any answer as at its face value is not science. It's witchcraft. You have to explore every possibility.
Which in itself is science. Witchcraft is science that simply just not explained yet. It all has a scientific explanation.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you can't
Right.
dismiss it. It's just nonsense. I mean, it's got to be explored.
because
We
it
don't
does
know
have to be explored. It's most unsettling. Have anybody else exhibited these kinds of animalistic behaviors?
No, just the one man. But gentlemen, the news does get worse, and I need you guys to roll a psychology roll.
Okay.
Psychology.
Come on.
Good.
No
So if you
whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
If you don't have skill in it, whatever your bonus is becomes the skill, right? And
There's a
it's
minimal
still
skill.
under.
It's a minimum. I think the
Yeah.
minimal skill is 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Okay. So I got
I'm
a.
fine.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Okay.
Percentile dice, right?
Right.
Yeah, those look like 8-sided dice.
Wait, percentile dice. Which ones are percentiles?
It's the green ones at the bottom
The
that got
double
the
green.
Yeah, and you just
So roll 2 of them.
just
All right.
one.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just one.
Oh, just one. Yeah, I missed it anyway. Okay.
okay. Anybody else pass besides
I-
Eric? All right.
I failed.
So
Nope.
you know you two Theo and Solomon are kind of still caught up in your little discussion, and as Dr. Manson says that the news gets worse, both Eric and
Chang.
Robert. So both Chang, is it Chang?
Yeah,
Chang
it's Chang.
and-
Sorry,
okay.
I may not have said that in the
Oh
character.
no, you did. I have it written down here too. So both Chang and Robert notice this sort of troubled look on Dr. Manson's face. And as he begins to speak again, you see that something is really, really bothering him at this moment. He says this news gets a little darker.
I can see it does.
Apparently this man.
Tell me.
Apparently this man attacked a young girl before he was discovered and apprehended. When they found him, they found him gnawing on part of the little girl's leg.
He killed her?
Excuse me, sorry, her neck?
Her leg.
Her leg, okay. Sorry.
Are you saying that he killed her?
That hasn't been determined yet, but from the looks of it, it wasn't attached to her. It was he had the leg by
Jesus
itself.
Christ! He's gonna. Did they throw him in prison?
They have him locked up. Yes.
Do you know her name?
All that information.
What's her name?
We don't have that information here, but if you guys agree to this, we'll set you up with somebody who does.
This is most unsettling to me.
It is.
Can I ask a question?
You can go.
Why did you choose us? Why did you choose us? Why did you choose us? We're just students.
Yes.
Well, we're the best.
We're getting to that now. And I will say this, that each of you, since you've taken Dr. Manson's class, you've noticed that time and again during his lectures, he would bring up, his family. He would talk about his daughter with a certain level of pride. That she's a smart one, and she's going to be brilliant when she grows up, and so that this particular news hits a little harder to him. So that's it. Yeah. But Dr. Miller steps in and he says, "I'm glad that you've noted you said that. Fortunately, right now, this constable somehow kept this news out of the news press, just for the time being. Unfortunately, he has no idea what he's going to do with this man."
So you want us to go there and try to figure out what the hell's happened with this guy?
Correct. And that's where you guys come in. The university looks at this as an opportunity. He says, he glances at, both, so Dr. Manson glances at both Robert and Theo in particular, since both of you two are his brightest psychology students. And he says, well, to be frank with you, the psychology department at Miskatonic is in peril of being defunded. You're aware of the level of academic skepticism that exists for our fledgling field of study. What's more, with the crash of the stock market and the dwindling enrollment numbers, not just for my department, and then he glances over to Dr. Miller, but for the rest of the university as well. The university is in danger of closing its doors in as little time as next semester.
Wow.
Yeah. Dr. Adelson does not intend for this to happen.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want it to happen either because I'm 3 years into this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, Constable Clark has done a tremendous job keeping this tragic event under wraps. But make no mistake, this story will eventually break. Now, what we want you to do is, as a representative of Miskatonic, we want you to be at the center of this investigation.
You got it.
Once the story breaks, imagine the amount of prestige Miskatonic will receive once the country knows that our students were at the center of this investigation. Now, at this point,
Nice.
Not to mention the prestige that it'll give us.
exactly.
I care not for prestige.
Well, now at this
Yeah, we
point,
know, Chang.
the man who's been sitting quietly, pensively, staring out the window, finally chimes in. He says, "You gentlemen are here to fit into our plans with this investigation. As earlier stated, we chose you because you are among the brightest of our students. I mean, we could have chosen anyone, but you gentlemen have promise. We would like for you to take this trip out to Coldwater Falls and lead this investigation. Now, I'm assuming that you.
Board be paid for? Excuse me.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Will our rooms and travel expenses be paid?
Oh, our travel expenses will be taken care of, and as well as your room and board. Assuming that you agree to head out this investigation for us.
You got it, Doc. I hold up my hand.
Can't sit around idly.
You hold up your hand? Oh,
Yeah.
How soon do you want us to leave?
The sooner the better. Now, it seems like you already have a good team gathered together. We need somebody that's really well-rounded in writing. We also need a research expert, and he actually looks at you, Solomon. From my understanding, you excel at research. As well as someone who's trained in the science.
Yes, sir.
Particularly biology, but any science will do.
Well, I've got a minor in biology.
Oh, that can work. What we need you to do is we need you to go into town, examine this man, this wolf man. Find out and investigate this man's history as well as the origins of his delusion. And then we want you to prepare all of your findings for an academic publication. We would appreciate it from 2 points of view, though. From a psychological perspective as well as a biological perspective.
Well, I can do the psychology, I guess.
Okay.
Out of character, what's your psychology? Because mine's is like 50.
Yeah, I'm majoring in it, so I've got a high score.
Okay, yeah, because I'm kind of a well-rounded kind of character.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Actually, a 50 is leading towards expert in the field.
Okay. Yeah.
So, do you gentlemen have any questions? And then he leans back in his chair and continues to smoke his pipe, seeing if you guys have any other questions.
Well, I look at the other guys and I'm like, how are we going to get there? Does anybody got a car?
Dr. Miller chimes.
I bet you got a car, don't you?
Yeah. Dr. Miller chimes in. He says, "University is prepared to lend you our vehicle."
Yeah, but what are they gonna? They're gonna give us some clunky old thing. I bet you Solomon's got a nice car, don't you, Solomon?
No, actually, I don't have a car. I don't have a car. I'm actually concerned about. So if it's Thursday morning, why don't we wait and leave Friday morning? You said
it's
it was
actually
Thursday
afternoon,
October 9th, right?
Yeah,
you may not have the time.
The Dr. Adelson.
I think we should.
Well, Dr. Adelson says tomorrow is fine. We mean sooner.
Wait.
We're not saying you have to leave tonight. But if you want to leave tomorrow morning, that's perfectly fine. We just don't want you to leave maybe next week or the following week,
I got a question then. How long is it going to take us to get to Coldwater? Chang, you know that. You know Coldwater. How long does it take to get there from here?
Well, Coldwater is about 60 miles from Arkham.
Oh.
So
A couple hours?
A few hours, like depending on the weather and the traffic. It can be 3 to 4 hours on a good day. It can be up to
60
about
miles?
5. Well, you got to realize the
actually
cars,
get,
the cars
the-
nowadays.
Well,
yeah, I
yeah,
get
30
the
minutes.
farthness because I have a character. I have a cottage up north, so it takes about 3 hours to get there.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
what I was saying is, look, if we want to get on this job first thing in the morning, then why don't we leave tonight? They got a hotel or something for us to stay in?
They've got a place for you to stay.
Then we could go tonight. We could get there. We could sleep. Then we could get up in the morning and start first thing. Now, maybe we need to get some
What about
supplies. I got to get my
research,
book.
though?
Say that again.
You want to do some research at the library?
Sure.
So-
You can,
Huge library here at the campus. I mean, shouldn't we do some reading before we go out there?
Okay, well, even if we get there like 9 o'clock, what time is it now? You said it was just a little afternoon, yeah?
correct.
All right.
Yeah, so we got plenty of time, but we could do like 2 or 3 hours of research before we leave. Well, maybe we need some supplies,
good with
too. Do we need some supplies?
It's up to you.
Well, I can get like notepads and pens and pencils. Do we have pens back then? Yeah, I guess we do.
Maybe.
We have.
Yeah.
I can get a bunch of pens. I can get a bunch of notepads for us. I can get I don't know, some snacks, and for the trip, and you guys can go do the research. What do you think?
Sounds like
I'm good with that.
And then
For
we'll
what
leave
it's-
like at 5. You want to leave at 5?
Sure, we could do that. Couple hours in the library.
All right. So, you know what I'll do is I'll get that stuff. It's not going to take me It's not going to take me 4 hours. So as
Right.
soon as I get this stuff, I'll come and meet you at the library.
Okay.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I have a Model T.
Sounds good. I'm good.
You have a Model T. I was
little
like
old.
hoping we could get a sweet old touring car or
It's a
something.
little
that
old
we
and beat up, so maybe whatever the university is willing to offer us, if there's more room, if it's a nicer car.
It's more or less like a Model T as well.
What? Good God! We're gonna cram 4 people into a Model T going what? 60 miles?
well, okay,
What
I'm
is that?
short, so I can fit in there very snugly.
This is, as you guys are discussing this and sort of complaining about the car, the Dr. Manson says, "Well, gentlemen, you could take the bus as well."
The bus. Are you out of your effing mind? Somebody's gotta have a touring car. I bet you I can get somebody. Leave it up to me. I'm gonna see if
Couldn't
I
they
can-
just loan us a car since we're doing this for the university?
Yeah. Hey, Doc Mason, I bet you got a nice touring car. Come on.
No,
Oh shit.
he's basically you could use your own vehicles if you want. I will say that the mileage on the university car is pretty low since it's sort of a local car.
What are you
So-
worried about gas? It costs 10 cents a.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I guess it is a lot of money nowadays, isn't it?
Well, I mean, even in the modern day equivalent, that would still be like only $2 or something.
Well, but it is the Depression.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out.
Okay,
We
so
got 4 hours to discuss it. We'll probably use your Model T.
Do we know any details on the young girl? Do we know approximately how old she is?
he didn't get any of those details. He just got the details that there's a crazy man thinking that he's a dog or a wolf or something
All right.
that's locked up, and he's trying to find a place for these guys.
Has he spoken at all?
Has he what?
Has he spoken at all, or is he just?
When did
No, he says he doesn't know the complete condition. All he knows is that Constable Clark says that the man hasn't taken any sort of human actions since he brought him in. He sits on he doesn't lay on a bed. He sits on the floor, sits on his haunches like he's a dog. And there, every time he comes close, Clark comes close to the cell, he becomes aggressive and he snaps and snarls at him.
Hey, Theo.
Yeah.
When you're out shopping, you might want to pick up some dog biscuits.
I Professor. So
How about I pick up a couple of soup bones?
Couple soup bones, maybe a steak.
Constable know how old the girl was and more information about the girl.
Hey,
Yeah.
Wayne, when did the problem start?
Constable Clark says that he brought him in Wednesday. So this happened yesterday. But he doesn't know how long this man has been like this.
The constable would know, though, right?
The constable would know.
Okay,
He says,
so
so when you do get to Coldwater, I think one of the first things you should do is look for Constable Clark, and he can set you up with the accommodations there. Of course, we're going to send a stipend to cover your expenses, but talk to Clark once you get there, and he'll fill you in.
You know what else we need too is we need some letters from you guys saying that we're on business for the university.
Oh, yeah. Of course, and as you say that, Dr. and what did I call him?
Adelson?
Adelson, yes. So Dr. Adelson says, glad you brought that up. He goes into his drawer and he pulls out a few documents, and it has the school's stamp and emblem on it, and he writes up a letter and he signs 5 copies of these letters. He says, just in case, we called in another one of your classmates, but he didn't arrive. If he agrees to this, have him show up as well.
All right, well, you can tell him where we are.
Yeah, I can do that. So I'll hold his copy here, and here you go. And basically, it's a document saying that you guys are students from Arkham University, or from Miskatonic University, that you are here on official business of investigation. And of course, the constable knows that you're coming, so he'll also give you a bit of leeway to do your investigation.
Cool.
Okay.
So
basically, sorry, I'm just gonna be like, I stand up, kind of bow him a little bit, and I'll just be like, thank you for informing us. I understand the need for the discretion.
Yeah, make sure
the other guys
if you talk to somebody about this, make sure they're in your circle. We don't want this getting out. We don't want people talking about this. We don't want it hitting the news before you guys can finish your investigation.
Okay.
We got it. Yeah,
I say to the rest of the guys, I'll be in the library. Just come get me when you need me.
Now wait, Chang, before you go.
Oh, yes?
You're a vegetarian, right?
Indeed, I am.
All right. Just deciding what kind of snacks I'm gonna bring.
Yes. Yes.
Just to be clear, I'm not a vegetarian.
Yeah, I know. I know you're
not
not.
either.
I've seen this.
Okay, and I take my leave, and I'm in the library right now. And if I can I roll something for a library use check?
Yeah,
Why don't you all go into the library?
I'm going to the library also, yeah.
So Solomon and Chang are going to the library.
I'm doing research if
But
there's
I'm not going to leave. Wait, Wayne.
Yes.
Wayne.
Yes.
I'm not going to leave this. I'm not going to leave this meeting abruptly. I am going to thank the gentleman for entrusting you with such a dire assignment, and I'm going to bow to each of them and shake their hands, and just tell them that I will. I'm confident that I will do Miskatonic. I'll do right by Miskatonic. I will conduct myself with skill and intelligence and also professionalism.
Indeed, we that's why we chose you. We believe in your abilities.
And all I'm going to say is ditto.
Wow. You're going to say is what?
Ditto.
All right.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go get the stuff.
Okay. And Robert, what are you doing?
Yeah, I guess I'll go to the library as long as Theo doesn't need me.
Okay.
All right. I'll meet you guys at the library probably in an hour.
Okay. All right. So Tom, I'm going to say that while you're out getting whatever you need, you get whatever you need. But let me know if it's something special or
Uh,
particular?
I'll just make it really quick for you. I'm gonna get notepads. I'm gonna get like a pack a dozen, so that
Okay.
each of us have numerous notepads. I'm gonna
Okay.
get a box of pencils and a sharpener. I probably have a sharpener.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get some like little Debbie snack cakes, because we like those.
Okay.
And I'll get some other various snacks and stuff. I don't know of anything else that we might need, so.
Okay.
And I am going to look and see if I got a friend who'll lend us his touring car, but
Okay.
probably not.
All right. Give me a luck roll.
Oh,
Flashlights.
okay.
Flashlights.
Ooh, I got a 24.
Okay. What car? You said a touring car?
Yeah, you know, the kind of gangsters used to drive around in, where you can top down and fit comfortably.
We
Well, like
roll-
the one that we used in the other game. You
Okay.
could fit 6 in it if you wanted to. So.
Okay. So I'll say that you have a friend who's a little well off. His folks didn't gamble their money in the stock markets, so he still has a bit of money. You talk to him and you say, can I borrow your car for like a weekend or something like that?
because you owe me.
Mhm.
And he's like, okay.
Well, yeah, let's say he's part of like the football team or something like that, and you help
Yeah.
him with his papers. So he says, you know what, I'm going to stay in with Cindy this weekend anyway. So go ahead, just don't wreck my car, please.
I swear to God, I won't wreck your car.
So all right, I trust you.
All
So
right.
now you have a touring car.
Excellent.
All right, so let's go to the 3 gentlemen who are in the library. So what are you specifically trying to look up?
I want to look up if there's any other, like through psychological documents, if there's anybody else who has exhibited kind of similar behaviors of like animalism like that.
Okay, give me a library roll.
Okay, no whammies, no whammies. I got a 39. I think I passed. Give me a sec. Yeah, I passed.
Okay, so you're researching that, and through the books you don't see anything like animalism, but you do see that if people suffer a psychotic break, they tend to sometimes they tend to develop other personalities. They call it dissociate personality disorder, where the brain actually shields itself from the trauma by coming up with a new persona, but nothing animalistic. You do see sometimes where a rich man may suffer some sort of psychotic break. There's been a study where a rich man suffered a psychotic break and he takes on a personality of, say, a gangster, or a woman who's a loving mother becomes sort of street urchin,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Basically, he saw something that freaked him out so much, basically.
Right. That's that their personality changes.
Yeah.
But this is still, like Dr. Manson says, this is still a fledgling study of science.
Yeah,
And so
I mean,
there's no
psychology
real
back then was very new.
right. So there's no real concrete sort of evidence, but there are case studies where you see these things.
Mhm.
How about you, Solomon? What are you researching?
Good. I want to look up is there any anthropological precedents for people behaving in this way, like animalistic, and what are some of the stories that have been found throughout history?
Okay. So you're going to do
in different societies, that sort of thing. Library use?
So I want, you can give me a library use.
So I have an 80% in that skill, and I rolled an 18.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that's more than half. Okay. So,
Right.
basically, you're looking at more of a historical view of this type of phenomena, and as you're reading, you see that there are certain native tribes, American native tribes, as well as some other European tribes that go through certain type of rituals where they take on sort of what they call the spirit of a particular animal, and they act it out. but they still sort of remain themselves. It's just a short psychological change. It's nothing that's lasting, but so like you'll have Native American rituals where they do a snake dance or something like that, and they become like a snake or something like that, or do the mimicking of the movements of that, or in some Nordic or Celtic tribes you'll see them taking on animal aspects of like wolves or bears. Specifically, since you were looking into history, you'll see something about like the berserkers in Norse cultures, where they took on the animalistic nature of bears, and it was said that they couldn't feel pain or anything like that during battle, But that's the sort of thing that you find.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Robert, what are you looking up?
I'm curious. So Solomon might know some of this already, but I'm curious to learn what I can about the town of Coldwater.
Okay.
Specifically, if there is an asylum nearby. Like maybe he's an escape.
Give me a library roll.
65. I missed it by 5.
Okay. You want to spend some luck?
Let's start the game out right. Yeah, please.
All right. So you find that the closest asylum would actually be Arkham's asylum.
Okay.
As far as the information that you get some general information. You get information about the population, which is about 833 people. The location is about 60 miles west of Arkham, between Dean's Corner and Dunwich. The town was founded in 1640. It takes its name from a rocky 2-foot drop at the Miskatonic River, on which the name of the town was built. The town's original economy was centered around the grain mill at the center of the town. It was an industrial farming town. They had lumberjacking, leather tanning, that sort of thing. Today, it serves as a hub for farmers working around the town, north and south of the river, as well as a textile mill. But that's just the basic. Yeah.
Perfect.
So can we say that my character now shows
Yeah.
up?
So yeah, I'll
Hey guys,
say that with your conversation with your buddy, and you getting your stuff, and with the research that these guys were doing, it's been about 2 hours. So it is about 2:30, going on 3 o'clock.
So I'm at the library now?
Yeah.
Guys, wait until you see what I got us to drive out there in. This is a car, not a Model
Like a
T.
fast car?
Well, I don't know about fast, but it probably hits a good 35 miles an hour.
Nice.
So we're going to be comfortable. You could sleep in the back of this car if you want.
Nice.
So, I think, have you guys done any research as far as, abnormal psychology, anthropology, or, I don't know, did you look up Coldwater?
It seems that he saw something that really freaked him out.
So something like dissociative personality disorder, huh?
Yes.
How about cannibalism? I want to look up something on cannibalism.
Okay.
Why do people eat people?
All right. Give me a library roll.
Roll. I believe that's a pass. See? Yep, I passed.
Okay. All right. So you find some information of ancient cultures, not so ancient cultures either. Also, that are into cannibalism. The basic belief is that when you imbibe the flesh of whoever you're eating, you also imbibe their spirit. That's you'll find that mainly in like Native American cannibal tribes or South American cannibal tribes. They also believe that you also take on the power of whoever they believe, their particular god or something like that. And then some people just do it to freak out their enemies.
Yeah, reputation's a powerful thing.
I will say, what did you get? A 40?
I got a 47.
47
out of 60.
Okay, that's not quite half. So
No.
I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Anything else?
I am ready to go when you are.
Are there any
Get out of here early.
particular religions that deal with this Wolfman? You kind of mentioned the Native Americans. Is that
Yeah.
a real connection?
You also mentioned some of the Northern European tribes that do it, but they do it by ritual.
I was also adding, as a Buddhist, they might think that they're like a wolf in a past life or something like that, and then that karmic value is kind of coming out in a way. That's pure speculation, like that's just.
You know, I once read in a story, maybe it was a pulp novel or something, but about a kid who was raised by wolves.
Isn't that how Rome was founded, supposedly?
Yeah, because I've seen that statue with the two little kids sucking on the
wolf teats.
the wolf teats. Yeah. But, I wonder.
Romulus and Remus. Yeah.
Look, we're at the Miskatonic University, and there's a lot of occult literature here too. Maybe not that I believe any of that crap, but maybe this guy does. We should at least look into the.
To see something here about that.
Like religious, yeah.
Because I have a cult.
Okay.
I do too. Yeah.
I
have a quote.
I have a little bit.
Roll a cult here.
You can.
47.
47. So, what are you trying to look into in particular?
Like occultism, mainly about like animals like that, and like people taking on the personas of animals and attacking people for some reason.
Like lycanthropy.
Yeah, like lycanthropy.
I got a 12.
You got a 12 on that? All right.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of the occult knowledge, and now you're in Miskatonic, so you're really going to get some stuff.
Yeah. There's page after. There's shelf after shelf.
It talks about the origins of lycanthropy. Some believe that it came from the Greeks. You would actually be, I don't know if you're familiar with like the ancient Greek mythologies of.
Yeah, my parents have told me all those stories.
There's also Slavic mythologies of that too.
Yeah, I don't have the. I think his name was Lycos, if I'm not mistaken. But according to the Greek myth, Zeus came down to have a feast with this man, and this man fed Zeus human flesh, and Zeus cursed him with lycanthropy. You hear because you got that 12. There are other myths. This is more of a sort of historical account, since the more dangerous occult books are sort of locked away.
Right.
In Miskatonic. But this is sort of a historical means. There are more like Northern European accounts of people actually, like men in the Northlands, Norway, Sweden, Scandinavia, who would slaughter wolves and wear their skin and become wolves and take on the persona of wolves. And they were like the berserkers, except instead of having a sort of a bear spirit, they had a wolf spirit.
God, I love psychology.
Yeah, but nothing as far as a man actually, like you would see in the silent films, where men are actually turning into hairy wolf beast or anything like that. It's more of a psychological thing.
Of course. It's where we get some of those stories. The idea of people.
So basically, the occult stuff that you get is pretty much like a historical account of the mythology behind it.
Kind of what we expected from the occult.
Right.
So you guys ready to go?
I am ready. You are.
I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys,
I brought us canteens too of water, so we can.
Excellent idea.
Yeah.
And a few other stuff.
Okay. As you guys make your way out, the overcast begins to turn to rain. But it's not a hard rain. It's not like deadlight rain, but it's steady rain, and the day is pretty dreary. Now, what time did you guys want to leave? I mean, you're leaving right now, but I'll say it's like around 3:30.
Okay. We were gonna leave at 5, but we
5?
finished up
Okay.
early. We finished up early though, so.
Okay, I could say that you guys leave around 5 o'clock. Who's driving?
I'm not.
I guess I'll drive because it's my friend's car.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I need you to give me a drive roll.
Oh shit.
Crit fail. You crash the car. We all die.
Oh no. Okay, I don't have much in drive. Really? I need a drive roll just to drive, huh? Oh. Yeah, I missed it by a lot.
Okay.
I've only got 20.
Okay. So you don't like drive off the road or off a cliff or anything like that, but you're
Make for a very short game.
But your progress is slowed by the weather.
Right.
The road becomes muddy at some point. So something that would have taken about 2 hours ends up taking about 4 or 5 hours. So it doubles your time getting there.
You guys wouldn't believe that I learned how to drive about 3 hours ago.
I would believe it.
All right. So you guys left around 4. I said
It's like getting an Uber driver.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
All right. So the trip to Coldwater is a long and slow trip. The overcast is kind of bumming you out a little bit. It's dreary. And there's this steady rain coming down. When you guys do arrive, it's evening. It's late evening, though. It's around 8 or 9 o'clock. This dreary, winding road with forests of dark, brooding trees stand to the side of the road as sentinels along the borders of its opening. And it opens out to a small farming town that dips down into a valley. As you guys approach, you see very little foot traffic as the rain is coming down and people are trying to get out of the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And as you approach the center of the town, you see what looks to be a sheriff's office or some sort of official office.
Okay.
And I'll say that you guys are pulling up towards the office.
Yeah.
And as you pull up, you see a man, and he's dressed in a uniform. It looks more or less like a sheriff's uniform, but it's his constable uniform. And he runs out to you guys as you guys pull up and get out of your car. And this man is about 6'2", and he's slim. He looks like an older gentleman. Has black hair, which is nicely trimmed, and you see a bit of the grays coming at his temples and streaking back to the nape of his neck. And he's a handsome fellow, but he looks tough, slim, but tough. And he comes up to you. He says,
You're the constable?
Yeah, you fellas from the school?
Yeah, we're from the Miskatonic.
And as you... All right, I want you guys to give me a quick psychology roll.
Sure. Sorry it took so long. But, I learned how to drive a few hours ago.
I failed it by 1.
I got a 29. I did really well.
I failed. I won.
Oh, I made it.
Okay. Yeah, he has this... how about you, Rob? Well, since two of you made it, you didn't? Well, you don't... You and Chang...
Yeah, I made it.
You guys don't.
Right.
Yeah, you guys don't really notice it, but like when the look that he gives you, this look of relief. If you ever been waiting for like a package all day, and you've seen, the trucks coming down your street all day, and you're kind of looking out the window, and it's not it or whatever, and when it finally shows up, that relief of not having to sit out, looking for this thing. That's the sort of relief that washes over his face. He says, "Look. I'm glad that you gentlemen showed up finally. I understand it's quite a hike up to to these here parts.
Yes,
Well,
Rogue was difficult.
yeah. Well, welcome to Coldwater Falls. I
Look,
wish we had you over here visiting us in better circumstances, but it is what it is here.
listen,
Oh.
Constable, I want you to know, I want you to be reassured that we were told to use discretion, so we're not going to say anything to anybody.
Oh, that's good, good. As a matter of fact, and you see another man. He's a younger gentleman, black hair. He seems kind of, I'm not going to say nerdy, but he's kind of scrawny.
Okay.
But he's got black hair and sort of slender as well. Not as tall as Constable Clark. And Constable Clark introduces him. This is my deputy here, Amos Pitts. And Amos, he sticks out his hand. He's like, y'all can just call me Andy. Everyone around here does.
Andy.
Pleasure to meet you all.
You got it, Andy. And Constable, what's your name, by the way?
Well, you can just call me Clark. Ultrabolt is my first name, but you can call me Clark.
Okay, well, Constable Clark, would you mind if we came inside? It's kind of wet out here.
Yeah, you fellas look a bit hungry.
Yeah, well, and it's
Would
kind of
you-
late. All we had to eat were stupid little Debbie snacky cakes.
Okay, he says, how about this? Let's head on down here to the diner down here. We'll get you some grub and.
Okay, now Cheng here is one of those vegetarian guys, so.
I will not eat flesh of the living animal. It's like killing your own.
Yeah, living animal face thing. Yeah, okay.
He kind of looks
We
at
all
Chang.
know.
He kind of looks at Chang questioningly, and he says, "You don't eat meat, boy." He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that in a sort of racist. He's like, what? You don't eat meat?
Yeah, it's his religion.
I will satisfy myself on bread and water. If that's
He
what
says, "Well, I believe we have something down here for you."
If you got like fresh vegetables or something, he'll eat those.
Yeah,
He's like a rabbit.
be much appreciated.
I swear to God, if I can get him to eat a hamburger, he's going to change his religion.
You
Wait,
guys-
as we're going into the deputy's office, can I just take a quick
Well,
scan around? Maybe see if I spot anyone kind of watching us, or see what is there
Sure.
anyone around or anything.
Oh, there are people like walking to and fro. I wouldn't even have to let you roll. Everybody seems to notice you guys, and
Okay.
they look at you guys. They're like, these are strangers, and they see you talking to the constable. But
Right.
they look at you and they sort of continue on. So nobody's like
Okay.
gawking at you guys. And the constable is
Okay.
actually taking you guys down to the diner before you guys go into his office. He looks at Andy. He says, Can you take their belongings and their stuff all the way up to the Lockhart's place? Get them all settled up there? He says, yeah, right away. I get to see Clemmy. And you basically see Clark sort of roll his eyes. He's like, all right, stay out of trouble. And he's just like, yeah, of course. And he if you guys have any sort of suitcases or bags or anything like that,
Yeah, we figured we were going to be here in a couple days.
yeah. So he says, I'll take your things around.
You know-
you mind if I use your car to just transport
Yeah.
your stuff? I'll bring your car right back.
Yeah, if you just take the car and park it up there. We can walk.
Okay, it's not that far. And so he says, he gets into the car and he drives off. And
I say to the constable, there's like no chance he's going to steal my car, is he? It's not my car.
he says, folks around here don't do much.
I'm joking, dude.
He says, you need to come out here when times are good and have yourself a little vacation.
Well, I want you to know too that we know something about the case, what we were told, and it's a pretty disturbing case. So we're probably all just simply compensating by being kind of lighthearted, but we know
I
the
understand.
situation's really pretty serious. So
He says, I understand. Well, let's get you settled in here.
Right.
And so he takes you into the diner, and the diner is down at the corner. It's situated. It looks like it's situated in the middle of a street. So there's a sidewalk that leads to the diner. You have to cross the street, and you can cross the street from the diner to the other side of the street. So let's say it's going down south. You would have to cross over and then cross over again to get to the southern sidewalk. And it looks like a nice little homely place. There's a nice fireplace, a chimney that's pouring out some smoke, and you smell the wood coming out of that. So as you guys walk into the diner, you notice that it's a nice sized diner. It can seat up about 75 to 80 people.
Wow, nice.
It has this nice rustic look, very homey. There's a large pot-belly stove in the center where all the meals are prepared. And as you walk in, you smell the savory smells of pot roasts and coffee and the wood smoke, and it gives you that sort of vision of what a farm town diner would feel like. And as you guys walk in, the constable walks up to this young man who's in an apron, and he's got red hair and freckles, and he talks to him, and he says, you don't really overhear his conversation, but he says, yeah, okay, of course, constable, anything. He says, Millie, can you seat these boys somewhere in the back? Make sure they're not disturbed. And Millie says, oh, right away, Eddie. And so she comes and she says, just follow me, gentlemen. And so she'll situate you guys at a table towards the back.
I bow to her slightly and follow.
Yeah.
So Millie, how long have you worked here?
Well, let's see. I started working around here when I was about 14. My daddy over there, he runs the tackle and tools business over there. Her father's name is Phil.
Cool.
And you would have walked by Phil's tools and tackles on your way down to the diner. And she says, oh yeah, I've been here for a couple of years. I like it. People are nice, and I get to see some visitors coming and going. But can I set you fellas up with something to drink?
Water would be nice.
Water? Okay.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Coffee?
I'd like sweet
Definitely coffee with cream and sugar, yeah.
Okay. Coffee?
sweet tea for me.
Sweet tea? How about you?
Coffee, please.
Coffee? Right away. And she puts down some menus, and you see that, there's the specials, pot roast, there's chili, there's, like beef stew, and then she also has like some garden vegetables and salad and stuff like that.
I'll just take
on the menu. But she walks away, and sooner or later she comes back with cups of coffee, and you see that she's carrying like a percolator, so it's percolated coffee. It's nice and strong, and she gives you some creamer, like a little jar of creamer and some sugar, like a bowl of sugar. And she's like, what are you guys having, if you guys have decided?
I'll have the salad.
Miskatonic's paying for this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right
All
now,
right, I'm doing.
So for game wise purposes, you guys don't have to worry about the bill for eating and everything like that, and you have some pocket money as well.
Steak dinner.
Steak.
Yep.
All right.
Preferably venison if they have it.
Well, venison. The hunting season hasn't really kicked off yet for venison, but
Okay.
we do have some nice steaks that we can throw on there. How about you,
Steak
gentlemen?
dinner. That's it.
How about you, gentlemen?
You have something without meat in it, maybe a hearty salad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have your order written down.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? Make that 2. I'll have a salad too.
All right, 2 salads. And how about you,
How about
Mr.
a
Quiet
roasted
Gentleman?
chicken?
Roasted chicken. All right. So
I've
she's
already lost track. Is this Thursday? It's Thursday, right?
it's
Yeah.
still Thursday. Yes, Thursday. It's Thursday night. Yeah.
Right.
So she goes off with your orders, and I'll say that eventually she brings it back, and you guys are sitting down, you're eating, and Clark is also. He says, "I'll have a coffee, and give me some apple, some of that cherry pie, that really good cherry pie."
There we go.
And so he sits back and he lets you guys eat for a bit, and he says, well, reckon you guys have a lot of questions for me. And he says, I'll tell you what I know, but I'm not sure it might be enough for you guys. I'm quite baffled by this whole business myself.
Has there been any mysterious happenings lately? Like
You mean,
people going missing, people acting like they shouldn't?
well, I mean, besides old Harlan, that's the man that I have locked up in my cell.
His name's
Um,
Harlan, huh?
Harlan Dupree.
Harlan Dupree.
Yeah. Besides him, everything else has, been normal around here. Nothing out of the ordinary except for this tragedy.
What can you tell us about Harlan? What does he? How long has he lived here? What
Well, Harlan.
what was he like before this?
Okay. So he sits back and he'll pull out cigarettes and he'll light it up and he'll start smoking. You won't mind, do you, gentlemen?
No.
Okay. So he starts talking and he says, "Well, Harlan's been here for as long as I know him. I kind of grew up with him. He's been a nice guy. He was married. He has a daughter. As a matter of fact, his daughter Clementine, she works and lives at the Lockhart boarding house where you fellows are going to be situated.
You said her name was
Clemmy.
Clementine?
Yeah.
Clementine.
Clemmy.
Yeah.
That's who the guy was going to go see.
Yeah.
Clemmy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy is kind of sweet on Clemmy, but I don't think
Mhm.
I don't think her aunt is going to be up for that. Her aunt pretty much.
What's his wife's name? Excuse me.
His wife's name was Elizabeth,
Elizabeth.
and
You said was?
yeah, back a couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago, about 12 years ago, when they had that big influenza issue, that Spanish flu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like his wife might have come down with it, and she ended up dying of her that illness. She had pneumonia. Pneumonia was what killed her.
Amitofo.
What did you say?
Amitofo. It's like a Buddhist way of saying God bless her or something.
Ah.
It means infinite life and infinite light in Chinese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah. Except benediction.
Well, Harlan, he lost his wife. Now, I'll give you a little bit more history before I even get into that sad business. But Harlan was a gifted man. He was an artist. He did a lot of sculpting. He did a lot of statuary sculpting. He had an actual business. And his business was pretty good. I imagine it might not be that good now with this Great Depression, but out here, we don't really feel that. But his statues have been shipped all over the country. Some of them have been even shipped overseas. You have a few of his pieces of work down here at our own church at St. Agnes. But he was a happy man. Him and his wife and his child. Every time we seen him, he would be happy. He'd smile at everybody. Everybody loved him. And then his wife took ill, and he had to stop his business for a while and take care of her. And then when she finally passed, the man went into a depression. When you talk about Great Depression, this man was feeling it. And this man was mourning for months, and people felt sorry for him. But his mourning led to his drinking. And people kind of ignored it for a while, and they were like, "Oh, his wife is, he's still getting over the loss of his wife," and nobody really thought much about it. We kind of turned a blind eye to the consumption of spirits around here, as long as you don't get out of hand. Some people do. They drink some corn whiskey or some of that moonshine, and they do get a little out of hand. And I have a cell for them, just for them to sober up in the morning. And at first, he would drink by himself at his house, and he would just go deeper into depression. But it got so bad that he stopped taking care of Clementine. Clementine was, I think she was around 8 years old at the time. And her aunt started to get a little concerned, and he would promise to lay off the booze and he'll get back to work, and every night he would go back to the bottle. to a point where
Mm.
Clementine's aunt decided just to take her away and, have her up in the boarding house, and she started taking care of her. And I think that even furthered his depression to a point where he started drinking out in the streets and he became loud, and I had to just lock him up every other night. But yeah, but after that, I mean, what happened the other day? I'll tell you, it was midnight. It was like, I guess, midnight, Wednesday morning, midnight. You folks call it morning. We call it night still. Morning don't shine until the sun comes up. But around 12:30, I get a knock at my door, pounding, and I'm thinking maybe somebody's house is burning down or something. And a woman by the name of Hannah Miller, she lives out, she has a farm, a pumpkin patch out towards the edge of town. And she comes in and she looks like, I don't know, like she saw a ghost or something. And she tells me that her daughter, Bethany, is missing. That she, somehow, some way, she went up, she went to use the outhouse, and she heard her scream, and she ran out, and she couldn't find her daughter, and she ran into her room, and her husband Jacob, they were looking all over the place, looked all over the farm, and they couldn't find her. She told me that Jacob rounded up a few of the neighbors to go looking for her, but I guess they couldn't find anything. They decided to form a search party this morning, and they went out and they're still looking for her. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything else. But earlier this morning, old Phil over there by the tools and tackle, he told me that he was coming to open up his shop this morning, and he seen Harlan sitting on his front porch, and he thought that maybe he was like sleeping there, or he was drunk or something like that. He was in a kneeling position. When he came across him, Harlan started snarling and snapping at him, and he had something in his hand, and his face was all bloody. But Phil just ran to me, and he just came and just, there's something wrong with Harlan over there. So I went out and I seen him, and man, it was a gruesome sight. He had something in his leg. We thought it might have been like maybe an animal leg or something like that he was chewing on. And as I approached, he started snarling, and he became aggressive, like territorial. So Phil and I and Andy, we went around and we fetched a horse blanket, and we came up on him, and he started getting really aggressive. So we threw it over him, and we tackled him, and we wrestled him to the cell, and we threw him in the cell. And man, I don't know, he wasn't himself. He's snarling. He was on his hands and his knees, like snarling like a dog or a hound or something. And we just couldn't figure it out. We thought that maybe he had drank something wrong or something. And I basically told Andy, well, we got him locked up, and let him try to sleep it off, and maybe he'll sober up and something, he'll come to his senses or something. And I said, I told Andy to go out and see what he was chewing on and see if everything else is all right around there. And after a few minutes, Andy comes in, and he has this shocked, stunned look on his face, and he's white as a ghost too. And in his hand, he's carrying the remains of a leg, and it looks like a little human leg. And there was I found a powdered blue sock on the leg. And later on, when Jacob Miller came around, we asked him, what was his daughter wearing, and can he identify? And he basically told us that she had her night clothes on, and she wore these little her favorite powdered blue socks to keep her feet warm at night. And I asked him, and I had him identify the remains of her leg, and he was able to identify, and the man turned red as a spark plug or a fire plug, and he went out angry, and I hope that this man ain't gonna do nothing stupid. But man, I can only imagine.
It's the worst feeling a man can have is to lose their child.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
My guess is that they're going to show up here for a lynching.
I hope not. This is one of the reasons why I called you guys in. I want to get down to the nitty gritty with this case here. See what caused this. Was it something he drank? Because I'll tell you this. After a while, you might have had a few drinks of the moonshine or even a full bottle of it. Most of the time, if you have a full bottle, you ain't waking up. But usually, it wears off after a few hours. And I'll tell you, we after a few hours, we went in there while I was waiting for you gentlemen to come. I went back in there, and this man was still snarling and growling at us. And Andy went to put some food into his cell, and he went to try to attack Andy, and Andy just flipped out, and he dropped the plate of food, and Harlan just ate the food and lapped it up like a dog.
You say he's been depressed for a long time, yeah?
Yeah.
It sounds to me like he's had some sort of psychotic break. Is there any way that we can take a look at him this evening before we retire?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say that by this time you're talking and you're hearing, you're listening to his story. You've been eating, and you're pretty, you're pretty done with your food. And if you don't want anything else here, we can go down to my office, and I'll show you him.
All right.
All right.
That would be most appreciated.
All right. I want each and every one of you to roll me a spot hidden.
All right.
Okay. What is that start at? I don't think I have it. Hold on. What is that? What's the base for that?
Base is 25.
25? Okay.
I made it.
Pass.
You
Wayne.
I got 82, so I failed.
you made it, Darvin?
Okay.
Yeah, I made it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how about you?
17.
17? All right. So as you're getting up, and you've been sitting here, I'll say you've been sitting here for a good 40 minutes to an hour, and it's about 10 o'clock, and some of the people are starting to leave the restaurant. You happen to look over, and you see this scrawny looking man. This man, he has these narrow features, kind of rat-like. He's wearing a suit that looks a little too big for him. He's got a beard that seems to have not grown in properly. It looks scruffy and scraggly. There's patches in his beard. Got these thick glasses that are constantly falling off of the bridge of his nose. And I will say for you, Robert, because you got a 17, every time he pushes his glasses up to his nose, you notice that there's this purple discoloration around his knuckles. And when the man notices that all three of you notice him, so he quickly looks away, as if he's been spotted looking at you guys and listening into your conversation.
Hey, Sheriff. Hey, Constable. Who's that guy over there?
And he looks over, and as he's looking over, the man looks up, looks at you guys. He looks flustered. So he pulls out a wad of money from his pocket, plants it down on the table, gets up, grabs this huge suitcase. It looks like a suitcase, at least. And he walks out the door quickly. And the constable says, "Oh, that man. I've seen him around town for the last few days. I think he arrived here Monday or something like that. My guess he's a traveling salesman. I don't know."
Salesman with the samples in his big suitcase.
What did he have in that suitcase?
Well, that's the thing.
Are we suspicious of that guy?
I am. I'm just
You
like...
noticed him. Not necessarily, but we noticed him.
Yeah. Probably just a local, right?
Well, he's not. The constable says he's not a local.
Oh.
He arrived here on Monday. And yeah, he's been going around with that big suitcase, looking like he wants to sell something, but I don't know. Every time somebody approaches him, he just scampers off. If he's a salesman, he's the worst one I've ever seen.
So, Constable,
suspicious.
Constable, you have a pretty open and closed case here, right? I mean, Harlan obviously killed the girl, ripped off her leg, and was eating it.
Right.
I mean, obviously she's dead, so there's no waste of time on that.
Right. Well, we don't know.
Right.
We haven't found the rest of her. I mean, looking at the wound that she would have taken, she could have just bled out. So you're right, and I'm hoping to God that they find her in time. But if they don't, then I'm afraid what might happen next, especially with her father.
Well,
Constable, if you're hoping to,
sorry,
Constable, if you're hoping to God that she's still alive, then she's definitely dead. There's just there's no denying the fact that if that was her leg, she's dead.
Well,
the question is whether this man.
There are no miracles, Constable.
Are you sure a man can rip a limb off of even a little girl like that? It would require incredible strength. How was it severed?
Give me a either an idea roll or a medicine roll.
Okay, I can roll.
Well, saying because he's thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll let you guys.
Sorry, what's idea again?
That will be your intelligence. That'll be your intelligence score.
And just my
intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean anybody else. I mean because Chang brought it up. Anybody else?
Sorry, swerve, but like I missed it by one again.
You can.
I made it, Wayne.
Luck.
Yeah, but
how is that? Sorry, I haven't played 7.
Okay. The way I'm doing it here is, if you fail at a roll, it doesn't matter for me in this particular game. It doesn't matter.
I'll get that because I want to know.
Okay, but if you're wanting to spend luck, you can spend your luck points to make your roll successful. The way I'm doing it is that it doesn't matter what you roll, but you'll deduct those points in luck, and you'll not gain it back throughout this entire game.
Okay. So how does the luck work? Like, how many points of luck do I have here?
I don't know.
Should be on your character sheet. If not, I believe it's.
My POW is 80, and in other Cthulhu games that was related to POW.
The luck on this one is 2d6, and then you add 6, and then multiply by 5.
All right.
Okay, so do you want me to just roll that here? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, we don't have to do it right now, since Darwin actually got it. So I'll say that
if Darwin got it, then it's cool. But
but
rolls.
Don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us. I'll say you're thinking about it, and you can't quite figure out how somebody would do that. Darwin.
Okay.
What did you use? Idea or medicine?
I used idea.
Okay, so you would think that through your studies of like biology and other, like zoology, you would know that certain wild animals they have enough force in their jaw and to actually rip limbs sort of straight out of their victims' sockets. Wolves can do this. I mean, especially if there's enough force applied to the area. But yes, it does require a certain level of strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially, it would be easier if the victim was already dead. That way, there's no flailing. Right. But also, you also know that flailing could also help the process along, because especially if they're flailing with their legs,
Or he could have just. Well, he could have just hacked her leg off. I mean, no one saw him do it. He could have just chopped her leg off, and
when you say that, Constable Clark says it doesn't look like it was chopped off. It wasn't clean. The break wasn't clean. It looked like it was.
Yeah.
It looked like it was ripped.
Yeah.
With
That can also be the fact that he was gnawing on it. So it's hard to tell. But it didn't look clean cut. It looked like it was torn.
Mhm. Okay. Cool.
So he takes you guys to his office.
I think Robin was going to say something.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to ask, without getting too gruesome, what was it? Just the lower part of the leg? Was it the entire leg? Or?
It was the lower part, like where the
knee?
shin bone, where the shin bone starts at the edge of the. I want to call it the knuckle, but the knee, the knee bone.
Yeah, it's like below the knee, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the sock was on it too, so that means the foot was intact.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that there's no question that the little girl's probably dead, and that he did it. Now the question is whether he's competent to face trial or whether he needs to be locked up.
Yeah, and that's.
And I think from a research point of view, we want to find out how he came to be this way.
Correct. And Constable Clark will say, yeah, you're absolutely right. Despite what these folks want to do around here, I have to uphold the law, and we can't have vigilante justice and lynchings around here.
Well, you've got yourself a real problem, Constable.
I know. This is the reason why I'm trying to keep things under wraps, so that if you guys can, if somehow a room in an asylum actually opens up, we can just ship them off and
absolutely,
put them in there.
Yeah. You need to get him out of here as quickly as possible, because your reputation is going to be damaged too. Because if you don't give these people their
justice,
their justice, then
yeah. But I uphold justice. They want vengeance.
I know, but it's still a practical thing you got to deal with.
Yeah, sometimes out here, justice and vengeance go hand in hand. So, but yeah, let's head out to the my office.
Yeah,
and we can sit down and palaver over there. All right, so you guys walk out, and as you walk out, the steady rain had turned to a misty drizzle. It's kind of foggy out. There aren't many people out on the streets at this time of night. It's going on like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So he takes you to his office, and the constable's office is a small, functional, one-room office. As you walk in, of course, that scent of hickory wood from his potbelly stove lingers, as well as the lingering smell of older coffee hangs about the air. The floors are made of an old, creaky, well-worn wood, and there's a file cabinet that sits in a corner of the office. Now, his desk is centered in the middle of the room, and the desk of the deputy is pushed up against the wall closer to the file cabinet. And as you walk in, you also see that there's a hallway leading to another room. And he says, all right, the cell is back through this way. And he takes you guys towards the back. And when you get to the back, it's just a one-room cell. It's large enough to hold one person. You don't see multiple cells. You get the impression that there isn't much crime that happens around here. That the worst type of crime is maybe some drunkard, disorderly sort of thing, which he really uses these cells for. Mm-hmm. As you walk in, you happen to see this man, and he's curled up in a ball in the corner of the cell. This man is filthy. His hair is matty. He's disheveled. His hair hasn't been washed in God knows how long. He stinks of excrement and urine. And you see that while he's curled up in a ball, he has his hands sort of curled up in a position of a paw. In the moment that he hears you guys walking in...
Sorry, what?
A paw, like an
animal.
Like an animal paw.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Like a paw of an animal, like a cat or a dog.
Or a dog or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The moment that he hears you guys approaching, he automatically alerted and he becomes aggressive and he starts snarling and snapping at each and every one of you.
Don't
Sir,
be
that is
close
not very
to the
nice.
I need each of you to do a sanity roll.
Sanity, okay, let me watch fuck this one up too.
I'm fine.
Pass.
Okay. You're fine?
Yeah, I'm good.
I got a 71, so I passed.
All
Yeah, I
right.
made it. 63.
All right.
63,
So
I'm good.
good. So you guys kind of jump back, at him snarling and snapping at you. You haven't seen anything like this, but you don't take any sanity damage.
Don't get too close to the bars, because if he gets a hold of you, he's probably a lot stronger than he.
Yes, he says that's a good idea. He says the closer you get, the more aggressive he seems. You also notice that there is a bowl and like two bowls, one filled with some food and the other is filled with water. And for all intents and purposes, this man is growling at you, but he's on all fours, basically. His hands are kind of bloody and caked with blood, and you can realize, and so is his knuckles, and you realize that this must have come from him crawling on his hands for a long period of time, or some period of time, just like this. Constable Clark says, this man doesn't sit on his cot, he's lays on the floor, he sits like he's sitting now, and you see that he's sitting on his haunches, basically.
Okay.
You see that his knees are bent up, and he's got no shoes on, of course, and his feet are in the palms of his hands are caked with mud and dirt.
I want to take a look at him and see, are any of his mannerisms at all human parodies of animal behavior, or is he actually think that he's, acting exactly the way an animal would?
Okay, give me a psychology roll.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Oh, yeah. I
I'll
passed that
try
really well.
psychology too.
Okay.
I didn't pass.
You didn't?
No, I didn't pass. I got
Okay.
5, so.
I passed with less than half.
Okay. You realize that this man it's not like he's pretending. It's not so. I think one of the criticisms of psychology is that people will say that, hey, if somebody pretends to be crazy, they can probably get away with a crime because I was just crazy. This man is not. It's not like he's acting like he's crazy. This man believes that he
So
is.
when I look into his eyes, he's got.
He snarls at
his
animal
eyes.
It looks like when you look into his eyes. You give me another psychology roll.
It's really fascinating. It's like he's completely convinced, like he's studied dogs and then he's trying to be one. 42, I also passed. That's
Okay.
not by half, but
Right. So basically, when you look into his eyes, he stands up, not like a human erect, but he stands up on his haunches, like he arches his back and he starts really growling at you. He's taking you looking directly into his eyes as a challenge. And because you pass this, you notice that dogs, in particular, will do that. If you look directly at their eyes, they take it, especially male dogs, they take it as a challenge to them.
Yeah, it's true.
Is he still clothed?
He's clothed, but his clothes are torn and ragged and dirty and stinking.
shoes or no shoes?
No, he has no shoes.
I'm going to ask the constable, why is he not sedated?
He says, "Well, we don't have a full-on doctor here, and the only thing we do have is horse tranquilizers. But trying to get in there to tranquilize him, that's going to be Nobody has dared to try to do that. And besides, we wanted to wait to see if this man is actually active. We wanted to wait for you guys.
Sure. You could try slipping it into his food if we need to move him to another location.
that might be a good idea.
That's smart thinking.
Theo brought up a good point. Do you know if Harlan, and when I say his name, I'm going to look at him to see if he reacts to his name. Do you know if Harlan owned a dog?
No, I don't think he did. He didn't own any sort of animal.
Okay. Robert, it's a good idea, Robert. Harlan, do
he's
you hear
growling.
us?
He's growling at you.
But is he reacting at all to his name as if he?
It doesn't seem like. Oh, give me a psychology roll.
Okay.
Can I try that too?
You can try that.
Okay. Let's see how badly I messed this one up.
I passed. I did pass.
I did pass 41.
Okay. You guys notice that every time you use his name, it doesn't seem like he's recognizing it, but he's growling at you because he feels like you are a potential threat to him.
That we're barking at him as far as he's
more or less. Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have any comprehension of what we're saying.
Correct. He basically is looking. I mean, if you're studying him, and I'll say that you guys are taking a good amount of time studying him. But if let's say you you start pacing back and forth in the room, he's following you. Like his eyes are following you. He's like growling every time you're walking back and forth. So he feels like what you're doing is you're trying to intimidate him.
Like we're walking into his territory, basically.
Yeah, or like you're basically, both of you, it seems like you're posting up more or less.
Gentlemen, I don't want to call this to an end so quickly, but you know this guy's under a tremendous amount of stress, and I think he probably needs to sleep tonight. So, and I think I do too.
I don't think we're gonna get anything out of him.
I think we should come back in the morning and see what we can figure out.
A good night's rest will do us all good.
Yeah.
Well, instead of coming back here in the morning, why don't we go check out his house and also to see some of his sculptures?
That's a good idea. We need to learn more about him.
Okay, basically, Constable Clark leads you out.
Before we leave, could I do something?
Sure.
Okay. If you gentlemen will indulge me real quick, could I ask you all to just step back to the edge of the room?
Sure.
Absolutely.
And I'll reach into my coat pocket and pull out a biscuit that I saved from dinner. And I'm going to crouch down low, and I'm going to approach the cage, the cell, and basically reach out and try to hand it to him.
All right.
Okay. Going to...
Jeff, hold on. I've been savoring this for so long. Jeff, give me a dexterity roll.
Okay. What I just wanted to say, what I do without him even realizing it, is I've got a hold of his shirt so that I can yank him back if this thing lunges at him.
Okay.
I'm also standing by ready to dex brawl if we're like brawl if we need to.
Oh, sweet revenge.
Yes.
You got 96.
Oh, shit. You got a 96?
Yes.
Okay.
Robert of the Nine Fingers.
All right.
Just I'm going to state my intentions, if that matters. I'm trying to basically befriend him as if he were a dog. I'm going to approach this. You guys all have your beliefs on the psychology and all. I'm going to approach this where I'm going to treat him like a dog. If he wants to act like a dog, I'm going to treat him like a dog. So I'm basically just squatting down and just trying to give him a treat, really.
You're going to be submissive.
All right. So.
Yes.
That's a smart idea.
As you're reaching in and you reach into the bars, and he's growling at you.
Okay.
And just as fast as lightning, he goes and he lunges onto your hand and he bites down onto your hand.
Can I do something here?
Hang on. You take 5 points of damage. Now give me a luck roll. No?
81.
Oh, man. Do you want to spend luck?
Remember, I had a hold of him, so I'll be yanking him back. But
Okay.
we're
I'm
waiting
sure.
for that moment.
Sure. You're going to yank him back, but...
I'm not going to spend that much luck.
No? Okay. So, he clamps down onto your hand, and he starts shaking his head, and you got an 85? That's not
81 on my luck. Yeah.
81. That's not critical fail, but he takes a nice chunk out of your fingers.
Ooh.
You are bleeding. Now you're starting to bleed profusely.
Okay, so do I pull him back at this point?
Yeah, you do pull him back at this point.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck hell were you thinking?
I don't.
And he's
like-
growling. He's growling, and he's chomping down on that piece of flesh that he ripped from your hand.
I immediately tear my shirt and try to get something that I can wrap around his hand.
Okay. Give me a medicine roll.
All right. Medicine or first aid?
Or first aid. First aid will work.
Yeah, either will work.
17.
Ooh,
All right.
there we go.
Nice.
So I'll say that you wrap that around your hand, and the constable ushers all of you out. He says, out, out, out.
Yes,
And he
there's
takes
something we
you-
can learn from him.
Yeah, he takes you into his office, and he goes into his desk, and he pulls out a first aid kit. And
Robert, I get what you were trying to do, but oh my God.
I didn't
That
think he
wasn't-
could react that quick.
he puts some cold compresses on your hand to try to stifle the bleeding. It's not like your fingers ripped completely off, but there's a big chunk of flesh that's been torn off.
You gotta
Kinda
give it
like
to you, though. You probably had the biggest balls of all of us.
That's
Yeah,
why I
for
don't
trying
eat
it.
meat.
So so give me Tom, give me a first aid roll.
Okay.
Which is not a first aid roll, but a D4. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
1D4.
For the heal check.
Oh,
For
one
Pretty much,
4?
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. 1.
Wah, wah.
So you get one. So basically, after a few minutes, they're able to stop the bleeding. They wrap it up, and
That's going to be sore tomorrow.
it will be. And of course they disinfect it and everything like that. You do get one hit point back.
Okay.
But it's going to be sore and it's bleeding. Well, not bleeding anymore, but it's nasty.
Well, you guys are taking notes from now on.
You know
not
that,
me.
yeah, I guess I'll take the notes for you. But you know that the human mouth is like the filthiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
You can watch that. Make sure that you don't like get sepsis or some horrible thing.
Yeah, but they say a dog's mouth is supposed to be very clean.
Yeah, that ain't a dog though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what?
And let's make sure you don't become a werewolf either. Oh, did I try to
Well,
stop something?
Yeah, we're gonna have to chain you up when the moon is full and the wolf
Actually-
blooms.
I forgot to ask this earlier. Was there a full moon last night?
There was a full moon Tuesday night.
Well, you didn't
that was-
tell us that.
and that was the same night that little Bethany went missing.
Oh.
Look, before we go along that line of thinking, there is no such thing as werewolves.
Well, I don't know. We just saw a man go into all beast mode like that.
Yeah.
So.
He's mentally damaged. We got to figure out how and why.
Indeed.
Let's stick to science here.
And as you guys are talking, the deputy Andy comes back and he's got a pie in his hand. He's got a little smile on his face, and he walks in and he sees Robert's hand. He says, his face goes a little white, and he says, "What happened?"
He tried to give the what's his name a hand sandwich. Harlan. He tried to give Harlan a hand sandwich.
Oh, he says, "I wouldn't have done that. You're a brave man. You all right?"
I'll live. It's just a flesh wound.
All right. He says, "Well, I know that you fellas told me that to leave the car parked up there, but I brought it back anyway. It was getting kind of late, and I know you fellas have been traveling all day, so
Thanks.
the car is parked right outside. Your belongings are
Cool.
at the boarding house. He gives you directions to the boarding house.
It's a nice
This is
car,
just-
ain't it? Handles really good.
He says, "Yeah, we don't see anything like that. It's usually pickup trucks and old Model Ts around here."
Yeah, Robert was going to have us come in a Model T. 4 hours in a Model
It's
T.
not your car, Theo.
No, I know. You know what? It's nice for getting around town, but
He says, "Yeah, but this one is pretty nice."
someday they'll invent something called shock absorbers, but they haven't yet.
What are these shock absorbers? What
Shock
are-
they question you, what are shock absorbers? And they think about it. They say,
What black magic is this?
So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
little
yeah,
idea I came up with once.
that actually will work, especially on some of these rough roads around here, backcountry. It's well,
Maybe
gentlemen.
someday they'll just pave the roads.
Yeah.
They'll be nice and flat.
I don't know what type of money you guys have over there in Arkham, but out here, we just do what we got to do with what we have. So, he's like, gentlemen, I know that the evening is getting long, and you fellows may want to.
Constable, you've been a big help to us.
Hey, look, if you guys come up with anything, if you need anything, I'm right here. He gives you the directions to Harlan's place. He says you're free to check that place out. And of course, you can always come here if you need some more. If we can come up with anything, I'll send Andy out to find you. He's pretty good at finding folks.
Well, could
Sorry,
we
out
like
of
meet
character,
you
what was
back
the
here?
girl's name that went missing? I totally forgot.
Bethany.
Bethany.
Bethany. Okay. Because I know there's Clementine and there's Bethany. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Could we like meet back here at, let's say, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then Andy, would you mind taking us to Harlan's place? What, you guys think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My character goes to the boarding house and goes to. I'll say that my character probably brought like a Buga or something. So he goes and bows to the Buga 3 times and meditates, and bows 3 times before he goes back to bed.
Okay. He says, I'll see if Andy will be available, but he's got his duties around town too. But tell you what though, if you fellas just want to head straight out there, that's fine. I'll send Andy over if that's where you guys were planning to go. You guys can take your time and not take too much time, but you guys can get yourself settled. And we'll see what happens in the morning.
All right. Because you could like just give us the keys, but we don't know where it is.
Oh,
Harlan's
the keys?
place.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have we don't have the keys either, but
Let's worry about it in the morning then.
yeah. All right.
Real quick, you said the sheriff. Did he say that they were still looking for Bethany?
Yeah, there's a search. We haven't heard anything from the search parties all
Yeah.
day.
Okay.
They don't know.
Would they search through the night? Probably not, right? So
Probably not. Because of it. Well, I mean, folks have flashlights, but
Yeah.
it's dark and
right.
There are wooded areas, and
Yeah.
you guys seen the thick woods
Mhm.
on your way in here.
Just not
Jiminy
safe.
Christmas, I forgot to bring flashlights.
Well, don't worry about that. Phil has all that sort of thing around here too.
At the tackle place?
Yeah, well, tools and tackle. I mean, he sells all sorts of goods. It's your
Excellent.
general. It's your general goods store.
All right.
Are you sure that Harlan didn't? Well, of course you're not sure, but maybe there's no body to be found.
Well, perhaps.
Maybe that leg was all that was left, and Harlan devoured her, since he thinks he's a dog.
Yeah,
And dogs usually, I mean, they can crunch through bones, and right.
Yeah. But,
It's also-
give me a science roll, like a biology roll, and I say biology, but that also includes zoology.
I think I may have
I don't have any of that. I have natural world.
Oh, give me a
whatever that is.
Yeah, natural.
Um,
roll
Give
for it.
me a
Natural
natural
world.
roll.
All right.
Yeah.
Did not make it.
You did not make it?
Did not make it.
Well, how much would you get it? A 75?
I have it at 60, and I got a 75, right?
Okay.
I missed about 15 points.
Okay. I'll say this. You might have heard or read somewhere that wild animals, they'll pick at the parts that they want to eat, and they'll just leave the rest. They don't tend to devour a full-on
right.
body. So they usually go for some of the meatier portions of an animal's body, and then they'll just leave the rest for scavengers.
You know, it's also possible that he didn't have anything to do with the death of the little girl, and he just came upon bits of her after something like the wolf had gotten a hold of her.
Yeah, that also can be the case.
You guys have wolves out here?
Well, we have all sorts of wild animals out in the woods. We do have a few wolves, but they never really come to town. Wolves tend to be skittish around human folk.
Oh, yeah.
They're really, really desperate.
Yeah, that's true. Wolves really don't attack human beings.
You have more of a danger with the crowd coming here to lynch your guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, let's head on back over. I'm trying to keep my eyes open, and I just can't do it.
All right. So you guys head over to the Lockhart's boarding house. Now, the Lockhart's boarding house is situated just southwest of town.
Okay.
As you pull up, and it's night, but you can still see this. It's a sprawling 3-story wooden colonial house. As you guys approach the door, you see that most of the lights are turned out, but there's still like a light at the entrance hall. When you guys knock at the door, a few minutes goes by, and a woman comes to the door. This woman she's not so tall, but I would say about 5'5", 5'6", slender. She has a beautiful face, but you could tell that when she was younger, she was pretty hot.
You look like you must be Clementine.
She says, "Oh no." He says, "Oh no, Clementine is my niece."
Your niece?
Yes, I am Esmeralda. She says, "Pleasure to meet you. You boys from that school?"
Yes, we are.
Oh, good. Constable Clark told me that you guys were going to be about. I stayed up pretty late, just waiting for you guys to show up.
We're really sorry about that.
It's all right, Hey, this is part of the business. She says, "Well, welcome to my humble abode." She says, "Andy's already been here. He brought your things upstairs. This is where y'all going to be sleeping, up on the second floor. I can have Clementine show you to your room." And then she starts yelling, "Clementine!" She's, "Oh, where can that girl be at this hour?" Anyway, although it's a little too late for supper and dessert.
We've already eaten. Thank you very much.
All right. Good. Well, just to let you know how things work around here.
Now, ma'am, are we going to be sharing rooms?
Each of you have your own room. We don't get that much business.
Okay.
We don't get that much business around here around the fall season, so there's plenty of space and plenty of room.
All right.
So each of you have a room to yourselves, but they're next to each other, so you guys are in the same vicinity.
Yeah, I came in first, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so I'm asleep.
Well, no, you guys came in all at the same time.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he left earlier.
Yeah, because I thought I left earlier because my character was tired.
Okay, well, we'll say that you did that then.
Okay.
Okay. And she basically tells you, well, before I let you guys go up to your rooms, I just want to let you know that breakfast will be served at 8:00 a.m. sharp. It's like if you guys linger around a little too long, breakfast won't be served, and you're going to have to find your own meals for the day. Lunch will be served around noon, and we have about an hour for lunch. Of course, again, if you're not here, you won't get it. And dinner gets served around here around 5 p.m. I tend to extend my times for the food to be on the table till about 8 o'clock. But anytime after that, my larders are closed for the evening. And you're going to be on your own for the rest of the evening.
Well, we'll be as little trouble as we can be.
Absolutely.
I like to hear that. You guys are gentlemen. You guys accentuate the term gentleman. It's like, now let's get you guys up to your room. Clementine will show you. Where is this girl? Clint. And as she goes to yell again, Clementine walks down the steps and she's like, I'm here, Aunt Esmeralda. I'm here. It's like, where were you at? What are you up to this time of night? You leaving these men out here in the entrance like some poor beggars? Come on. She's like, no, I was just making sure that Mr. Smith had everything that he needed for the evening. That's all. She says, well, these gentlemen need to get to their room, so can you just please just show them to the room? Don't hang about. We still have a little bit of work to do before we close in for the night. She's like, yes, Aunt Esmeralda. She sighs, and she says, oh, right this way, gentlemen. And so she leads you guys up to your rooms, and she hands each and every one of you a key to your own respective rooms. Now, as you guys are walking down the hallway, you see a man at the end of the hall exiting the bathroom. The ones who, and I believe it was Darvin and Theo, or I would say Solomon and Theo, who recognized the man at the diner.
Yeah.
He comes out, and she says, oh, Mr. Smith. Gentlemen, let me introduce you briefly to Mr. John Smith. This is his first time to our parts as well. Mr. Smith, and as he's looking at her, and he looks at you guys, and you see that his face gets a little flustered. Mm-hmm. And he disappears behind his room without a word. And a moment later, you hear the lock and the latch key, the latch chain secure. And she turns to the door and she shakes her head. She says, my, he's a strange little man. Showed up on Monday evening carrying that big suitcase around. He barely comes out anyway. Well, I see him leave some time during the evenings. I wonder what he does during these evenings. He's always lugging that big suitcase around as though, like, we're going to rob him. Nerves, some people. Then she suddenly realizes that she's voicing her private thoughts out loud, and she looks to you guys, and you see this surprised look on her face, and she begins to blush in embarrassment. And she says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Forgive me. Forget what I said. I swear I don't talk. She's like, I swear I don't talk about my customers like this, my guests. Honest. So please follow me to your rooms. And so she takes you guys to your rooms. You guys want to do anything as you're heading to your rooms?
My room here? Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the facilities?
Oh, okay, yes. The bathroom, I have to tell you, it's a shared bathroom. We have a tub in there if you want to get washed up and everything. It's right here on the corner where Mr. Smith came out of. Now, I would suggest, if you're getting up early in the morning, there's not too many people. It's just you and Mr. Smith here. But because there's a couple of you guys, I suggest you guys get up early if you want to get a nice bath and want to take care of your personal hygiene early in the morning.
Thank you very much.
Of course, my aunt is a stickler about her timetable. She's always running around like a chicken with her head cut off.
No, but she's well organized.
And well, believe her when she says there's not going to be anything to eat after a certain time period. After 9 a.m., the tables are cleared, and you're going to have to probably go down to the diner or somewhere to find some breakfast if you wake up a little too late.
Cool. I think we have some little Debbie cakes left.
Nice. So, is that all you guys want to do for the evening?
Well, just to wrap it up then, I get my toothbrush, brush my teeth, and I put on my nightcap and my night clothes and climb into bed.
All right.
I'll ask Clementine if she has any extra bandages and maybe some sort of.
Oh yes, right away. And she'll go and she'll fetch them to you, and I'll just knock on your door when I have them.
Sure. Thank you.
And she's like,
So
wow,
Wayne, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if my character, and I don't know yet. Would my character be suspicious of Mr. Smith?
I don't know. Would you? Do you feel
My
suspicious?
character is.
Like, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to. See, I don't know. I mean, he seemed a little shady, but then at the same time, so what? You know, I mean, he's not.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not.
It might be a so what. It's just
He's not a wolf man, and so
we get
I
a weird feeling from him. That's all.
Okay. I'll
I
tell you.
want to metagame it. You know what I mean? So I don't wanna,
I understand. I'll do this,
Yeah.
then we can end for the night because it's 11.
Yeah.
Give me a psychology roll, the three of you. If you're feeling suspicious, since Chang is asleep, he doesn't do this. But if any of you guys are feeling suspicious about Smith,
09.
09?
All right, I missed it, so I don't feel suspicious.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that. How about you, Robert? Are you
I failed 72.
okay?
It
I'll
just
say
means
that-
that you guys feel that it's not important.
Or you could feel that
I
maybe, I'll say you can go with your gut feeling. You guys go with your gut feeling. So if you're feeling like he's suspicious, you feel like there's something not right with this guy.
Mhm.
I'll say for you, Theo, you notice that he seems always to be flustered. And you've come across people like this on campus who tend to be shy. Like as if they don't. And what did you get? An 09?
09.
Okay.
Yeah, but not
Not
a sales.
Hmm?
Salesmen are never shy.
Right. But from what you're gathering from him, you gather that he's not. Although he's a salesman, he's not really a people's person.
Yeah, there's something
There's something off about him.
that's not working there. Maybe he's a brand new salesman, and
Perhaps.
he's really bad at it.
Possibility, right?
Perhaps.
All right.
Alright, yeah. So that was fun.
Okay,
All right. So
Absolutely.
we'll leave off
Yeah.
here. All right.
really, really a good scenario so far.
Yeah,
really
this is
interesting.
fun.
Yeah, good start.
Well, let me go ahead and end it. So, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank all of our players for playing. If you enjoyed our game session, give us some thumbs up. Please tune in next Wednesday for the next episode of Canis Mysterium.
Well,
Until
I'm
next
looking
time,
forward to
always
it.
remember. I'm sorry?
I said I'm just looking forward to it.
Cool.
This is getting good. We haven't had any action,
Until next time, always remember, if there's no light left to guide your path, your only choice is to venture into the darkness. Good night and good gaming.